Good morning, everyone. Apologies for the delay. We're having a bit of technical difficulties this morning. That being said, welcome to Training Tuesday. In today's session, we'll be going over Litera Compare. My name is Jason, and I'm your account manager here at Litera. Also joining us today is our sales engineer, Garlo. Today, Garlo will be taking you through Litera Compare. And if you're looking to learn more about document comparison, this is the perfect session for you. Throughout our session, you'll be able to submit questions using the buttons on your GoToWebinar panel. And if there's time, we'll look at these questions at the end of the webinar. If not, Garlo will get back to you. As always, this webinar will be recorded and a copy will be sent to you after the session. So please feel free to attend. Please feel free to share it internally with your users. Now, this morning, we'll be showing you how to compare Word documents and PDFs, filter through results and accept or reject changes, save comparison reports, and show you the Litera Compare integration with Outlook. Great, so to make this morning session a little more interactive, before we get stuck into the demo, I have a couple of poll questions. Using the voting buttons on your meeting panel, could everyone please select whether or not they have a requirement for comparing PDF docs against Word documents? We'll wait a moment for everyone to answer. Great. Results in, it shows that majority of you do have requirements around comparing documents around the PDF and Word documents in particular. In today's session, we will be covering that off. And with that, I'll throw it over to Garlo to start today's session.
Thank you, Jason. So, as Jason already mentioned, today we'll be taking a look at Litera Compare, which is our document comparison software. As you probably already know, Litera Compare gives you the ability to compare multiple file types, such as Word against Word documents, PDFs against PDFs, PDF to Word, Word to PDF, and you can also do Excel and PowerPoint. In today's session, we'll be focusing on comparisons, Word to Word comparisons, and also PDF to Word comparison. The first workflow that I'm going to take you through today is comparing two Word documents. As you can see here on my screen, I've got two versions of the same Word document. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to upload the first version into Litera Compare. But before I do that, let me just give you a quick introduction of the 4 applications that you will get on your desktop after you install Litera Compare. You will have the Litera Compare for Word application, which you will basically use to compare Word documents and also compare a PDF against a Word document and a Word document against a PDF. Then you will have the Litera Compare for PDF application, which will basically be the application that you will use to compare PDFs only. Then you will have the one for PowerPoint and Excel documents. So I'm going to go ahead and upload this document into Litera Compare, version 1 of my letter that I have here. There are many different ways that I can upload this document into Litera Compare. The first way is to right click on it and select to the Litera compare option and then put the document as the original or the modify, or I can simply drag and drop the document into the Litera compare for Word application. And as you can see there, my document has been uploaded into Litera compare, and it has been put in the original field there in Litera compare. Now I'm going to upload that second version of my letter, and to do that I can simply drag and drop and put it as the modified version of my document. If I want to switch documents around because I've put them in the incorrect order, I can use this switch option, which will allow me to shuffle documents around. I can also use this to resize the application if I want to. Then here I have the compare option, which will basically run the comparison for you. Then this drop-down list here will contain all of the rendering and style sets. These are the ones that come by default with the software. However, you have the ability to create your own ones and edit the existing ones using this create edit styles option. These session options will allow you to configure advanced comparison settings in before you run your comparison. So now I'm all ready to go. I've got my version 1 as the original document and my version 2 as the modified document, and I'm going to go ahead and run this comparison. Litera compare will grab both of my documents, we'll compare them against each other, and it will just be fairly quick. It only takes a couple of seconds to run the comparison, and then we will get a red line report, which will pop up in my screen in a couple of seconds. So here I have my red line report. As you can see, I've got all of my insertions, deletions, and of course, at the end, I've got a table with the statistics, the number of additions, deletions, moves, insertions. Here at the top, I can navigate through the red line report, the original and the modified document. However, I understand that you might want to have the ability to work with a three-pane view. What I mean by this is you might want to have the three documents displaying in the same screen, which will make things easier for you when you are reviewing documents, especially a modified document against the original one. To do that, you simply change the layout view using this option here. As I say, you have the ability to have a three-pane view, a two-pane view. In this case, if I select layout 4, I'll get a three-pane view, which will have my original and my modified document at the top. And at the bottom, I will have my red line report. So now I can easily navigate through the change list here on the left-hand side and see all the changes that I have in my original, modify, and red line. So this change list will have all of the changes that we've found in these documents. And here you can navigate through this list manually, accept or reject the changes accordingly. You can also use the search option if you are specifically looking for some words or some phrases in your document. And here you have also a summary screen that will show you again a summary of all the text additions, text deletions, text moves, header edits, table edits, graphic edits, and things like that. In this case, one thing that I want to show you is, for example, if I want to take a look at change number 115, if I select it, this will take me to where this change is in the original document, in the modified document, and in the red line report. So this makes things easier for you because you don't have to go through page 7 in this document, then page 7 in the modified one, and then page 7 in the red line. This is all automatically done for you. So wherever you click, that's where Litera Compare will take you. In this case, I just want to work with the original and the modified document. I can simply go ahead and hide this section if I want to. However, I will just leave it as it is for now. Now, this is the easiest workflow in Litera Compare, which is comparing two Word documents, let me take you through a little bit more complex workflow. I'm going to close Litera Compare now, and I'm going to open this agreement. So let's say that this is an agreement that you are currently that you're drafting, and you're in the final stages of drafting this agreement. So you're almost done. However, you have sent this document out to one of your coworkers so they can proofread it for you, and they have sent you a modified version of this agreement. So you want to compare this agreement against the modified version that you have received from your colleague. Since Litera Compare integrates with Microsoft Office applications, you will have a Litera ribbon inside Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, and this Litera ribbon will have this compare option. In this compare option, you have the ability to print this document to PDF. You can compare the document that you currently have open, and you can also use this clipboard compare option, which I'll be showing you later on in today's webinar, which you will be using for comparing sections of documents rather than whole documents. So in this case, as I said, I want to compare this document that I am drafting. I don't want to save it on my computer and then upload it into Litera Compare. That's an extra step in the workflow that you want to avoid. So if you want to upload this document into Litera Compare without getting out of Word, so you simply select Compare, and then we will go ahead and upload that agreement there for you. Now, if I go ahead and I will simply just close this comparison, and I'm going to go ahead and select Compare one more time, my document will be uploaded there into Litera Compare, as you can see there. It's in the modify field, so I'm going to switch it for it to be in the original field. Now, as I said, I want to compare this version of the document against the modified version that one of my coworkers sent me. But let's say this was sent to you via email, because obviously nowadays all documents are sent via email. So as you can see, I have received that modified version of the agreement, but now it's a PDF document. It's not a Word document anymore. So let me show you how you can work with this in this type of workflow. So I'm going to go ahead and upload this document into Litera Compare. You can do that in two different ways. You can use the Litera ribbon at the top, which will allow you to compare attachments. If you have multiple attachments, you will get a window that will allow you to select which attachments you want to upload into Litera Compare. And of course, you have the option to just add sections of an email, or just some text that you have on an email into the Litera Compare, so you can compare it against a different section. Or you can simply right click on the attachment and select compare attachment, and this will upload your document into Litera Compare. As you can see there, I've got my Word document and my PDF. Now, if I want to compare these documents, I simply select compare, and everything will be done for me behind the scenes. So Litera Compare will grab this PDF, it will convert it to a Word document, and then it will compare it against the original document. Litera Compare comes with an OCR engine inbuilt in the software that allows you to make this type of comparison, allows you to compare PDFs against Word documents, scan agreements against Word agreements. So you have the flexibility to work in this way using Litera Compare. So there's no need for you to use a different software to compare your documents from Word to PDF or from PDF to Word. Everything is done for you with Litera Compare. So now that we've run the comparison, and we have here now our redline report. Like before, we have all of our markups in the document, and also we have our redline, original, and modified fields there. On the left-hand side, as I said, we have our change list. In this case, I will go ahead and accept a few of these deletions and a few of these insertions, because I think these ones are correct, and I want to keep them in my document. So once I'm finished reviewing this change list, I can go ahead and save my comparison reports. If I select save, we'll get this window here that will allow you to save the redline report, also the revised report, and you can even save the track changes report if you want to. You can save this locally in your computer, or you can also save it directly into your DMS. We integrate with various document management systems, such as iManage, NetDocuments, and many more. In this case, I will just select cancel, because what I actually want to do is I want to email these comparison reports back to the person that sent me that modified version of the original agreement. And to do that, I will go ahead and select email, and I will get this window here that we call an attachment manager. This attachment manager is great because it allows you to do a lot of things that you won't be able to do in Outlook. For example, here you can select what file type, in what format you want to email these documents. So for example, the original document, you can email it as PDF, the modified, you can email it as a Word document, and then the red line report, you can email it as a PDF document. Then you also have the ability to include a revised version of the document or the track changes report if you want to. In this case, I will just I won't include those two reports because I don't need them. I just need these 3 reports. But I also want to be able to rename my attachments, because we all know that once you attach a document into Outlook, into your email, you don't have the ability to rename it. You will have to download that attachment and then rename it and then reattach it into your email. So in this case, I can simply go ahead and rename my files using the Litera Compare Attachment Manager. I will just quickly rename this one to Redline, and I'm all good to go. There's one more thing that I want to do in this attachment manager. I want to be able to zip my files, because we all know nowadays that if let's say you are emailing documents to a different company or to a court or to your colleagues, most email providers nowadays will have file size restrictions when emailing documents and attachments. So we'll give you the ability to zip attachments so you can email them using Outlook, Gmail, or whatever email provider that you are using. Once I'm ready, I simply hit send mail, and Outlook will automatically open up a brand new email for me, and I will have that zip file as an attachment there. If I open this zip file, I can see that I have here all of my my documents. I have my modified document, my original document, and my redline document. I selected to have this one as PDF, so they are as PDF, and I selected to have this one as modified, as Word document, so now it's a Word document. Now I'll just simply close this, close Outlook, and I want to take you through one last workflow today, which is how to compare sections of a document rather than whole documents. So I'm going to go ahead and open this version 1 of this letter that I have here, and I will also open version 2. As I said, I want to be able to have the flexibility to not just compare whole documents, but also compare sections of documents. So in this case, I have 2 different versions of the same letter, but I only want to compare the introductions of this document. It's very easy to do that. So I have version 1 here and version 2 here. So as I said, I only want to compare the introductions. So I'm going to go ahead and select this introduction section, right click, and select the add to compare option. And this will open up this pane on the left hand side here. And I have my version 1 letter introduction, which is the section that we selected there. And now I can go to my version 2, select that introduction again, right click. This takes a couple of seconds, add to compare, and this will be added there into our Litera Compare clipboard pane on the left hand side. Then I simply select the sections that I want to compare, run my comparison, and Litera Compare will do the same process, but everything will now be inside Word, and you will even get the red line report inside Word, as you can see here at the bottom. We want to be able to allow you to stay in Word when you are working in Word and not have to use a different application. So this is why we have integrated this feature into Litera Compare. So now here you have your redline report with the changes that have been made between these two sections. I can close the redline report if I don't need to do anything else and just use this as reference, or I can save this redline report if I need to send it to someone else. So these are the main features and capabilities of our document comparison software, Litera Compare, that I wanted to take you through today. Thank you everyone for your attention, and I will now hand you over back to Jason.
Thanks, Gallo. That was great. Again, thank you for your time this morning. Hopefully you got a lot out of the session. Whilst we have everyone on the webinar today, I wanted to briefly introduce a new solution that we can provide here at Litera called Litera Review. So Litera Review allows you to consolidate many revised documents into a single document. It provides a many-to-one comparison of modified documents against an original and consolidating all changes into a single on-screen report. Each contributor's changes are listed against the original text, so even reviewers can make informed decisions about changes moving forward. If you'd like to see more about how Litera Review works, please email us at info@litera.com. For anyone that sent through questions today that we did not get to answer, someone will be in contact with you soon to discuss. Once you leave the webinar today, you will receive a survey on the presentation. We would appreciate it if you can complete that and provide your feedback. That's important to us. It helps us design our next sessions to make sure they're more impactful for our audience. Also, you receive a follow-up email with a link to view today's recording of the webinar. And lastly, on behalf of Litera, Gallo, and I, thank you for joining today's morning session, and we hope you have a great week ahead. Thank you.